Hello, Miller's Grant. My name is Courtney Abell. I am the resident life coordinator here. I am here today to give you a presentation on osteoporosis. The 20th of October is World Osteoporosis Day. An overview about the disease. Osteoporosis affects about 15 to 20 million Americans and is linked to 1.5 million fractures a year in people over the age of 50. Osteoporosis is a disease that drains bones of their mineral content and increases their susceptibility of fractures. In the later stages of the disease, wrists often become brittle enough to fracture at the slightest tap, and ribs can fracture in response to a cough or a sneeze. The vertebrae in the spine often becomes as thin as eggshells, leading to compression fractures and stooped posture. Osteoporosis can attack any bone in the body, primarily the spine, wrists, and hips. The condition is often referred to as the silent killer because there are typically no signs or symptoms until someone fractures a hip and takes a fall. So the next thing that I have to show you is a photo of an osteoporosis infected or diseased bone. So you can see that it is very brittle, a lot of big open holes. Again, thinking about that eggshell brittleness. And then you can see the healthy bone on this side, smaller gaps and a big difference between the two here. So I just wanted to show that. Risk factors for osteoporosis. So menopause, the greatest contributor to osteoporosis. Before menopause, women would lose approximately 0.3% of bone mineral content each year. After menopause, the annual rate jumps to 2.5 to 3%. Low peak bone mass during skeletal maturity, low rate of bone mineral accumulation during adolescence and young adulthood when the skeleton is still maturing. So as we're growing up and developing, we have a low rate of bone accumulation. Low calcium intake. Adequate calcium intake may be as crucial for maintaining peak bone mass as it is for attaining it. Smoking. Cigarette smoke interferes with the body's ability to produce estrogen. Women who smoke a pack a day lose 5 to 10% of their bone density by the time they reach menopause. Sedentary lifestyle, so not a lot of moving, sitting all the time, not a lot of activity, is the reduce in weight-bearing activities due to disuse or immobilization, leads to progressive thinning and eventual loss of bone. Genetics, family history plays a huge role in most disorders. And then other factors, heavy alcohol drinking, especially in men, low body weight and low testosterone levels, prolonged use of drugs, and metabolic disease and gastrointestinal disorders. So different forms of exercise training for osteoporosis. Resistance training is the first one, and we offer several options here at Miller's Grant. So our resistance training bands, our strength training bands, our stretchy bands. A lot of you have those, especially during COVID. We gave those out to most residents who requested one. If you would like one, please contact the Resident Life team. And then we also have resistance training in our gym, in our fitness center. So all of our strength training equipment is based on resistance and compressed air. So it is different than using strength training machines where there is an iron weight, or weight training machines, or weight lifting. So this is different. It's easier on your joints because it's compressed air, and it's equally as heavy or as much resistance as you would have if you were to use 10 pounds. The amount of weight that you're using on the equipment is the same amount of weight or resistance equal. Balance is the next one. So we offer balance classes at Miller's Grant. They're our most popular class. We offer them on Tuesday, Thursdays at 9:15 and Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 o'clock and then 10:45. Right now we are located up in the Main Street multi-purpose room, close to the main lobby next to the library. We are able to accommodate 9 residents at a time with the instructor. If you would like to get into a class, please contact the Fitness and Aquatics Coordinator, Ashley McClellan, at 410-696-6866. Flexibility. So flexibility, there's a lot of, we incorporate flexibility in a lot of our offered classes here at Miller's Grant. And then cardiovascular training, so anything where you're getting that heart rate up, going for a walk, using the fitness center bike or seated cardio equipment, or the treadmill. Some other examples, things that you can do if you use our gym. We have stability balls located in our gym, so always be mindful of balance and have a wall or chair available or a balance aid when practicing these. But sit on a stability ball and lightly bounce. Stand on one leg for several seconds, alternating legs. And then mirrors are really good. Using a mirror to work on your good postural balance, so what you can see your body doing when you can feel your body doing those things. The mind-body connection is very important. So using a mirror definitely helps you practice your balance exercises. Balance exercises you may be familiar with. We have leg lifts, heel raises, toe raises, and then our push-pull up-down, that's an upper body flexibility exercise. I'm gonna go through these again once the PowerPoint is over, and I'll zoom out of the PowerPoint. What forms of exercise should you use? Exercise should promote the development of stronger muscles, which may cushion a fall and help to prevent fractures. Abdominal strength or core strength contributes towards spinal and pelvic stability, good posture, and lumbar injury prevention. Swimming pool exercises are also recommended. So a fun fact, when you're in the swimming pool, you're 90% lighter than you would be if you were standing on land. So those of you who experience pain with this type of disease, you definitely might want to consider coming and using our aquatic center. Not only do we have our pool that's kept to 86 to 88 degrees, but we also have our spa, which is kept to about 99 to about 100 degrees. So if you're not into the colder water, you can still get aqua therapy in our spa. That's a good, decent size where you can actually do some exercises. So contact the Resident Life team for more information about the swimming pool and what you can do if you'd like to start getting involved with that. When osteoporosis is advanced, weight-bearing exercises may not be safe due to risk of falling, and body weight alone may provoke the fracture of the spinal vertebrae. And gentle seated forms of aerobic exercise may be attempted. So biking, we have a recumbent bike and a regular stationary bike in our gym that are non-weight bearing, that are aerobic. And then swimming again is a great, water walking, water therapy, slow moving, using those joints, loosening everything up. And then resistance training again, where we could use the equipment in the gym or our stretch bands. And we do offer classes along the content of those forms of exercise as well. So the next slide. This is the chest press exercise. If you have your strength stretch band, this is one that we normally do all the time. You can have it behind your back or behind your back and underneath your arms. This lady has the band behind her back. You can also do it underneath your arms if you're comfortable doing that. And then you're going to extend the arms forward, not hyperextending or locking, keeping a slight bend, and then you're going to slowly bring those elbows back. And then repeat that 12 to 15 times. About 12 is probably good. And then we're on to our flexibility section, showing you what these flexibility exercises look like. So the hip extension, while holding on to the back of a chair for balance, slowly raise your right leg straight out behind you. Lift it as high as you can without bending your knee. Then lower the leg. Repeat with the left leg and then do the same thing on the right side. Another flexibility exercise, a glute bridge. So this does require you to lay down, but we do have a great stretching table located in our fitness center that you can use when you sign up to use the gym. So the bridge, the glute bridge, lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Put your hands next to your hips with the palms down on the floor. That will help support your body. Keep your hands, keeping your back straight. Lift your bottom as high as you can off of the mat and then lower back down. It does say pause, usually 1, 2, and then lower back down. That's a good count. And then our last exercise in the flexibility section is a chair stand. The chair stand, position your chair against a wall if you're by yourself and balanced. You can have it also out. We have them on our red dots right now. So as long as you're in a classroom with an instructor, you don't need to have it against the wall. Sit in the chair with your knees bent, feet flat on the floor, and cross your arms. And put your hands on your shoulders. Keeping your back and shoulders straight, stand up slowly using your legs rather than your hands, and slowly sit back down. Some other techniques that we use in balance classes that we lean forward within our hips 3 times to help us get elevated and up out of the chair. And then another tip is to sit forward or scoot more forward into your chair. The further back you are, the more sunken down and harder it is and challenging it is to get up out of that chair. So the next slide, our last slide, is what are your options at Miller's Grant? So you can contact the Resident Life team to get in one of our offered Move with Balance classes. If you're interested in another fitness class, we can help you with selecting one that's best for you. And then we also would like, especially if you do have struggle with the severity of this disease, and you really need to get a script for physical therapy or a rehab department, please contact Sheathel and the team, and they will get you in if you have a script or guide you on how to get a script from your doctor. And then you can do physical therapy based on your qualifications. And if you go through a program with them, we usually work hand in hand, and physical therapy then brings you over to our fitness center, and you can spread your wings and use the fitness center on your own, but the Resident Life team can help you continue your fitness plan and help you with any questions that you have after graduating from physical therapy. So now I'm going to turn the lights on, and I'm going to go through these exercises. Your chest is nice and tall. You're going to have nice, good posture. You're going to lift your leg out to the side so there's a space underneath your foot in the floor, and then you're going to lower that leg back down. You're going to lift and lower, lift and lower. So those are what the leg lifts look like. About 10 to 12 on each side, lower down, and then you're going to repeat the same thing on that other side. Lift and lower gently and lower back down. Yes, okay. And then we're going to do our heel raises. So that's when we go up on our tippy toes, bringing the heels off the ground, and then lower down. Lifting up on the tippy toes and lower down. I'm going to turn to my side so you all can see my heels raise up off of the floor. And then the same thing with the heels. Good posture. You're going to lift those toes, go back on the heels, lower back down. Try not to rock the hips or bring the chest forward. Good. And then our upper body flexibility. Push, pull, up and down. Push, pull, up and down. Very good. Bring those arms down. All right. And then we have our chest press. I don't have my band, but I can show you that motion with my hands and my arms. You start with that band in your hands, gripping it. You're going to extend those knuckles forward, slide those elbows back, press. And if it's too hard on those shoulders, you can bring the shoulders or the elbows down and keep them in instead of having them out to the side. The next one is that hip extension or that press back. So you are leaning slightly forward and hinging on the balancing leg. You're driving the heel back, but then you're going to do a little bit of a hinge forward and lower down. Press it back and lower down. So I'm just going to turn to my other side so you all can see the stationary leg my hip does after you drive it back. You're just extending forward a little bit more, drive that heel back, and you're extending forward a little bit more. Very good. So the glute bridge, I will get down to show. Hopefully everybody can see me from where I am. We'll see if it works out. So you're on your back, your hands are down by your side, scooting your heels back towards your bottom as best as you can. You're going to drive up through those heels, press those hips up towards the ceiling, squeeze for a second, and then lower back down. You don't even have to fully rest down in between. Press up and lower down. That is the glute bridge. Very good for the core as well and the abdominals, but really engaging the glutes. All right, and up I go. And then our chair stand. So we'll talk about this again. Our feet are nice and shoulder width apart. Scooting forward in the chair, arms are crossed, 3 leans forward, 1, 2, all the way up. Press up through the heels to stand up and lower down. You can complete that 3 to 5 times, and that is it. So if you all have any questions, you can contact Resident Life or Physical Therapy for additional resources about osteoporosis. But everybody, thank you for joining me, and have a great day.